Welcome to Rom Wills Money Matters. Research a business idea thoroughly. And I've talked about this before, and this is going to be a common theme. So I'll probably talk about it again. But you want to really research any business idea. And especially in my last episode when I talked about buying an established business, you really want to research that. Don't go into an established business thinking, oh yeah, they selling a business, and it's like, oh yeah, they making money. Yeah, they gonna tell you they making money and everything, but then you get into it and you in trouble. Like I told the story when my uncle and aunt had got a restaurant. Well, a little takeout place. I wouldn't call it a major restaurant. Little takeout place. And even I, as a 10-year-old, was like, how y'all getting people in here? From its location and everything. They didn't look at the location. They couldn't figure out why things were going poorly. But then they found out people were coming in there just to buy the numbers. Like I said, this was before the lottery was legal. So it was like they should have did their research. They didn't stay in there long. They did not stay in there long. I mean, how long did they stay? Maybe a few months. Like, you got to research everything about a business. When you thinking about a business, I mean, location. If you want to put a business in a mall, and I've said this before, what a bookstore owner told me, walk through that mall at different times. I told you before, when I first moved to this area in this county I'm in, I went to the local mall because I was thinking about putting up a kiosk. And then selling books, and I immediately saw a bookstore and the people, and I was like, the type of books I'm thinking about selling ain't gonna sell here or sell well. And plus, there's already a bookstore here. Look, you have to think about it. You have to look at it, because even when I walk through malls now, I'll walk through malls now and be thinking about some things. I'll be like, do they have this type of store? That's this type of store, this type of store, right? And that's just location. Think about what I said this past Tuesday about getting into, having a love for your business. Because you have to really research what you're doing, and you have to really want to do it, and don't do it just for money. Because just because one person's making money don't mean you are. Because, it just popped in my mind about people who are recruited for multi-level marketing. And I remember one in particular, everybody was talking about this one person who was making all this money, but the rest of them weren't. You have to do that. Yeah, that's one person, and they all getting in for money, but do they love that? And I've been recruited for even multi-level marketing. I was like, no, I don't like that business, And you want to do that whether you starting a business from scratch, or you really looking into a business for, you're looking into a business that you want to get into that's really already established. Like, here's what I would do for an established business. If I'm thinking about that, they selling it, right? I would just check it out, check out the people. I would talk to the owners and say, hey, look, I'm interested. Can I spend a couple days here working on the business? Making sure that you have the skill level for any business, whether you start in from scratch or that you are buying an established business. Location, whether you have the skill level, whether you have the love for it. Don't just get something just for money. Oh yeah, they making money, let me jump into it. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Get the type of business that you'll stick with even during bad times. And trust me, any business, especially whether it's a brick and mortar, whether it's something online, you're going to have slow days. No matter what. So you have to really think about that. You want to research it thoroughly, look it up, Look, I mean, seriously, do internet searches on it. You know, the business. Are there any problems? Are there any complaints that people have? You know? Or if, say you buying a business, right? See if they, you know, nowadays they have, you know, reviews online. Check out the reviews, you know? Now, they might have good reviews. Okay, what are they doing for those good reviews? What are they doing? Or if they have bad reviews, it might be a situation where you are familiar with the business and you think, well, I can do better than this. It could be whatever, but you still have to research it. Don't just grab anything. Don't just jump into a business. Even if they telling you they making money, sit back and see for yourself. Like I said, just look around, see who's going in the business, who's not going in the business. You know, the type of people. Research that too. Because I remember when I moved to the area, I was thinking about having a book kiosk. I was selling primarily black books. Now, first of all, when I went to the mall, one, they already had a bookstore. Two, they didn't have a lot of black folks walking through there. So I was like, okay. You know, even if I put a kiosk, even if they were nice enough to let me put a kiosk, which a lot of bookstores ain't going to do that. And, you know, and sometimes malls, they don't want, you know, stores or kiosks selling the same thing, you know? So there's a lot. So you got to look at location. You got to look at what the business is. You got to look at the people. Look at the people itself. You know, you might not want to deal with the people, you know? It could be a racial thing. I mean, I'm just being honest. Could be a religious thing, you know. Could be a religious thing, could be a class thing. You know, a certain type of class, certainly, you know, you might be a place that get a bunch of rowdy people and the owners knew how to keep them in line. You might not be able to keep rowdy people in line. You know, you got to look at every little thing. Every little thing. If you start from scratch, especially, whether you get in an established business, thoroughly, you got to look at everything. Look at the numbers for it. Look at the industry for it, too. You know, some stuff could be changing up. You know, look at other stores in the area. Is there any place else selling the same thing? You have to really think about it. Really, really think about it. Thoroughly. Don't play around. Do not play around. Because, as I said earlier this week, a lot of businesses really don't succeed. A lot of businesses don't. Seriously, the number, you might get 1 in 5 businesses that go past the first year. Seriously, there's a lot of businesses out there like that. A lot of businesses that are failing for whatever reason. So you want to research it. I don't care whether it's from scratch, whether it's an established business. You want to look at every little thing. Every little thing. Its location, the type of people, everything. What you're selling, you know, even online. You need to say, are people checking this out? Everything, all right? So anyway, that's all I have for today. You know the deal. Let's go make that money.